This is Lagoon Radio.
All right, good morning, and you're welcome to another edition of the newspaper review here on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio station powered by the Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion. Yes, I remain Taiwo Adela Shabiolebe, and I'm going to be your host today. Together with Jennifer Jibril, we'll be doing the review together. Good morning, Jennifer.
Hi, good morning. Good to be here again.
So that's the person I'll be doing the paper with for those of us watching us online. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Lagoonradio.Ng, on Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. For more info and entertainment here 24/7 on Lagoon, only on Lagoon Radio. So we've got quite a number of papers here, but we're going to try as much as possible to touch the major stories and not to waste much of our time. I'll be taking the Nigerian Tribune here on the front page. You can see my village people, I am not available. Okay, so as you can see on the front page, Ohando leads renewable agenda via partnership with Lagos. That's on page 7. No single individual responsible for Buhari's 2015 victory. Guess who? Presidency replies to Nubu. That's an interesting one. You might want to, take a look at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper on page 23. National Assembly deserted as workers begin indefinite strike again. That's on page 5. And the major headline there says, APC presidential primary still on that. I have anointed no one. Buhari says, wait, what's... Is the anointed word for me?
Well, basically, they're expecting him to pick a consensus candidate. And as of yesterday, a couple of speculations that Ahmad Lawan had been named consensus candidate from APC. And then about a few hours later, the debunker came. President says he named no one. So whatever you're hearing,
it's not
your
true.
own risk, it's not true. So
it's the word anointing for me. Can you just find some other word to use? Thank you. But the writers to that story says NWC members kick as Adamu announces Lawan as consensus candidate. Northern governors insist on southern candidate. Consensus candidate illegal impossibility. Tinubu campaign organization. I see danger. APC cabal planning against you. Fire she tells Tinubu.
I see danger.
Now Mani steps down, back south eastern aspirants. All of this you can read on pages 2, pages 22, and pages 23 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Still on the paper on page 23, we can see ex-APC National Secretary Akpano Dohedehe. Do I get it? Dumps party. And moving on back to page 8 of the paper, 54 lawmakers sue NAS. Others over judges' poor salary. That's on page 8. Wasn't it yesterday the Senior Advocate of Nigeria as well?
Yeah.
Please,
I actually even know there's this particular retired judge. He's been retired for, say, 3 years, I think.
And then he has not
been paid. So we're talking, and he said, I just asked, I thought to ask, how have you been surviving? He said, basically based on charity. From people he met during the course of service. Yeah. So they've been the one helping. Who not even favor for this country, say?
I don't know.
Because if a old judge, a old me lord,
he's been
a old me lord has not been loaded. Now wow, it's true. Now when they're in court, it's my lord, your lordship, my lord, your lordship. So my lord has not even been loaded.
It's really not encouraging. It's really not encouraging. Truth be told, it's not encouraging. So if you have not been paid, you need to. But we feel for you really. But if my lord has not been paid after several years, after like 35 years, 40 years in service, and then you just let go of this person, holding this person, how is it meant to keep up? Please, that story is on page 8. Gunmen kill policeman, Okada rider, cut away rifle in Warri. That's on page 27. Okada rider. I think they're doing more harm than good.
I don't see them.
This is not even happening in Lagos, so that means they're everywhere. Owo attack. Please recover 3 unexploded devices. And the writer to that says, Tinubu Fayemi Amosun. Others visit. donate to victims' church. He donated how much?
75 million.
Naira.
So 50 million to the victims and then 25 million to the church.
Okay.
Money.
All in the it's a good thing really, but some people might look at it that because the election is coming and he's trying to buy the attention of the people, but at the same time he has done well. Really, he has done well. At least for the purpose, he has done well. We didn't pray for any of this to happen to our close relatives, but still,
you have a point.
Of all the people, he decided to come out.
You have a point.
So, for the 3-year-old woman, others battle for lives as victims recount experiences. All of this you can read on pages 17 and 28 of the Nigerian Tribune, and that'll be all on the front page.
Okay, so I'll be taking this day newspaper. The very top of the paper. Sultan, Archbishop of Canterbury, condemned terrorist attack in our church, says it's criminal against humanity. And the writer to that says, police launch manhunt for killers as IG condemns this deadly act. Osibanjo, Northern Governors, Tinubu, Fayemi, Diri, Makinde, and Mosun commensurate with Akeredolu, Olowo, and NGF donates 50 million naira to Catholic Diocese. We have an excerpt of the story at the top of the paper, but you can continue reading on page 34. And right beneath that, we have Lagos State partners Oando to introduce electric mass transit buses. I'll take that again. Lagos State partners with Oando to introduce electric mass transit buses. And you can read that on page 6. This looks like a means of aiding transportation in Lagos, especially with the fact that bike has been banned. You see, it touch everybody. But then it's for our safety, it's for our sanity, it's for security. I basically walk on the streets these days, and I think it was. And then you
don't have to look right. You don't have to look left. You try to cross around there. You're thinking there's a bike coming just the opposite direction.
There, like the road was so calm, so I don't know. It was so quiet, and I was like, wait, we heard them pursue everybody. I said, okay.
Even this morning,
no bike.
Even this morning.
So as much as we struggle, there are some places that we can't get buses to, so we have to walk, right? But then, man, our sanity is very, very important. Then, still on the front page of this day newspaper, we have UK leader Boris Johnson survives no confidence vote, and that's on page 35. I heard this news this morning about Boris Johnson. I mean, there's been some gist for quite some time now since he became leader in the United Kingdom, and then the fact that he has survived vote of no confidence, which could have sent him packing, like basically. Could have just sent him out of the seat, but then it is what it is. So we have Atiku slams APC, says ruling party dined in Abuja while innocent worshippers died in a war. And the writer to that says urges Nigerians to stand with him in 2023. You can continue reading on page 10. Now this has gotten so political. I mean, there were eyebrows raised that day. People they died. They slaughter people. Now sit down for dining room, they shop. But now somebody has picked it up as a political agenda, basically. So it says you should support him, you should stand with him in 2023, and that's on page 10. The major headline, in Super Tuesday, aspirants narrowed to Osibanjo, Tinubu, Fayemi, Amechi, Umahi, and Lawan. That's for the APC presidential primaries happening today in Abuja. And the writer to that says, President wants options reduced further today. Denies anointing anyone, writes delegates, urges voting without bait. Controversy trails Lawan's alleged peak as Adamu shuns governors. Kalu pushes for Senate President. Akeredolu dismisses the idea. Tinubu's camp insists delegates must decide standard bearer. Nnamani withdraws from race. Akpanudue Dohe quits ruling party. Appeal court stops APC from using statutory delegates at convention. party chair chases journalists out of secretariat. That's a whole lot of riders on this headline. In Super Tuesday, aspirants Naruto, Sibanjo, Tinubu, Fayemi, Amechi, Umahi, and Lawan. And you can read more on page 10. And we have the presidential meeting with the Progressive Convention with the All Progressive Congress leaders, governors in Nigeria. So this meeting was held yesterday. We have a clip on the front page of this day newspaper. And basically that's all we can take.
All right, thank you very much. I'll be taking the Daily Trust. At the top of the paper, we can see attacks displace 2,000 residents. Bandits hijack food truck in Zamfara. That story is on page 7. 95% shareholders unknown as Nigeria Hair gets hair transport license. That's on page 21. I read that in the news this morning.
Shareholders unknown.
I read that in the news this morning. Well, I can't really say much on that. I'm just trying to get the story and then.
So basically, the Nigerian Air was given license to run from 3rd of June this year till 2nd of June 2027. Basically, it's a 5-year license. But then the clause on it is this is an airline and they have shareholders, and almost every shareholder is anonymous. So how can a company, basically, let me call it a company, invest, or how can a company be given a license without even knowing a reasonable amount of its shareholders? 95% of the shareholders are unknown.
I think this is a risk, and of course you can't tell me they don't know each other, except they don't just want to make it known to the world,
right?
Yeah, so that's that. I can't get my hand on the story, but we'll move on. And you want to find out more? That's on page 21 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Presidential primary consensus deal collapses as delegates elect APC candidate, and the riders to that. I'm no anointed. I have no anointed. Hey, this anointing. Oh gosh, I have no anointed candidate. Buhari, NWC divided over Lawan. Northern governors insist on power shift to south. Odds favor Tinubu. Aspirants reach out to delegates in hotels. All of these you can read on pages 3 and pages 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. I don't want to say much on this, though. I read something similar. It's really funny reading it in the news this morning. How some people, the northern governors, how they just turn their back on a particular person, it's really, really.
I just see this country. This country na cruise.
And you can tell. In fact, you've lost it. Really. Really, really. Moving on. Our church killing. All Nigerians now helpless. Says Sultan. That's on page 7. 3. It looks 7. Looks like 3. And that. I'm going to say something on this our killing. Some people are saying it's an attack. Some people are saying it's not an attack. But at the same time,
actually
some
page
people.
3?
Yeah, page 3. Some people have actually foreseen this. If you listen to Dr. Obadiah in 2000 and of course in 2020, he said something that if you're relying on the military men, if you're relying on them for security, then we all are going to die one by one, because these people are actually, in fact, the higher ups are actually the heads of the Boko Haram and all of that. And 2022, there's going to be a civil war. That's their plan for 2022, and now they're entering the war, and then there's going to be a phase 2 of this, where they have to go from door to door to start killing people. And I pray before it gets to that, I just pray it doesn't happen, because it's really, really heartbreaking.
This is
to know that we have higher ups there and they can't even protect us, and we're not even safe. We're not safe.
It's okay for people to always say they want to jackpot, they want to run, you want to run, but then you're not running with your friends and your family. You still have, no matter how far you run, you still have something to drag you home. You still have something back here.
So whatever you're planning, plan for your neighbor.
As much as you're praying, you should do what is right. You have a civic responsibility. Basically, I keep asking this question: do you have your PVC? They go say their vote, no, they can't. They know they vote.
You will know. But the thing is, speaking on this insecurity, really, since yesterday, it has really been on my mind. I've been thinking different things, even in the bus, going on like, oh my God, what if? At the same time, I'm rebuking, I'm binding and casting, like, God forbid, and all of that. But please, because now we have to be security conscious.
See, I'll be walking, I'm looking back.
I'm telling you, I'm in the bus, I'm looking at the face, like, why all of them hide?
Yesterday, I wanted to enter bus yesterday, so I came out at the bus stop, and there was just this unusual crowd. Tell me to enter bus, I know enter. I now went to check. I started checking because I was not even sure who is who. I can stand there now. God forbid something is not happen. What would that I stood there and I'm waiting for a bus? Wisdom is profitable. I had to leave there. I started walking instead.
It might be funny, but it is. For in church, really, let's look around us for some. We have new members coming in, really, but there are some faces that you can't tell. If you're seeing like 2, 3, and they're just hanging around like that, let's be aware. Please, let's be security conscious. There's still a lot of stories there, but when you grab a copy of the Daily Trust, then you can get more of the stories. Over to you, Jennifer.
Okay, so let me take something from the leadership. Okay, so basically we still have the Lagos-Owando partnership on electric mass transit buses. We have PMB's speech, that's President Muhammadu Buhari, saying that he has no one can claim that he was helped, basically. So how it's written
during
here,
the 2015 election.
It says no one can claim PMB's 2015 electoral victory, says presidency. So
his victory
this
is not
is
tied
a debunker
to
anybody. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a debunker that nobody helped me. I helped myself. Then 4 years after unveiling, Nigeria Air gets operational license. That's on page 7. We have our attack rekindles clamor for overhaul of security architecture, and that's on page 3. 2,340 APC delegates to decide presidential flag bearer today as PMB throws contest open, rules out imposition, says I have no anointed candidate. It is the word anointed for me. But Adamu's bid to impose Lawan fails. NWC disowns national chairman. South fails to reach consensus. Aspirants go for broke. Northern governors insist on power shift, and that's on page 4. And we have on page 10 the Boris Johnson story. Lockdown party. Boris Johnson survives confidence vote. We have on page 24 Kola Abiola wins PRP presidential ticket. And we have on page 9 bandits adopt over 20 persons in Zamfara. So we have this little article, 5 telling statements that left delegates gasping for breath. I will choose, can't see this clearly, but I will choose my successor. Yeah, I will choose my successor. Says PMB, and that was the first statement in May 31. We have candidates should be one of our delegate members from the South, not an APC governor, says in June 4. We have I made Buhari president in 2015, says Tinubu. That was June 2nd. And we have Ahmad Lawan as party consensus candidate, Abdullahi Adamu, says Abdullahi Adamu. That is June 6, 2022. And we have I have not anointed. I have no anointed candidate. Says Buhari.
It's really 5 statements.
So basically everybody they put everybody
gasping.
They put everybody on highway. So we also have another article, roller coaster days and new front runners. So we have Ahmad Lawan favored by Adamu faction. Osibanjo, Amechi and Fayemi may be beneficiaries of northern governors.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Tinubu fancied to win a free and fair contest. I like now it is this one says Yaya Bello never say die. Now what I'm seeing from this whoever wrote this article used some really amazing words. Favored, beneficiary, fancied and
Never
never
say
say
die.
die. I mean,
I wish you can just end the paper here, but I'm going to take something from Nigeria economy. That's really
that was from the leadership.
amazing or amusing.
I tell you, both of them.
On national economy, which happens to be our last paper for today, federal government's capital inflow drops to $1.57 billion in the first quarter. The story is there. You can continue reading on the inside. I'm going to take a little from the story. Nigerian attracted a total of 1.57 billion naira in capital inflow in the first quarter of 2022, falling by 28.1% compared to $2.19 billion recorded in the previous quarter. This is according to the recently published capital importation reported released by the National Bureau of Statistics. Yes, and you can continue reading on page 4 of the national economy. Nigeria's unemployment rate rises by 312% in 7 years. What a disaster. The writer to that says economic future outlook scary as GDP slows, purchasing power dwindle. Buhari's administration long-term growth projections fail to elevate hardship. Really, I mean, it's clear. It's all over the place.
Yeah, right.
Nigeria discovers high-grade lithium mineral. That's on page 5 of the paper. Nigeria Air gets operating license. Also on page 5. Still on page 5. SEC announces unique identification for capital market operators. I think there's a lot to read on page 5 of the national economy. And this is why we draw the curtain on the This is where I draw the curtain. We draw the curtain on the newspaper review
drawer
this morning. Tomorrow is going to be another edition. I hope you had a wonderful time. I hope you're well informed and we served you right. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. My name remains Taiwo Adiola Shabilebe. And
my name is Jennifer Jibran.
good morning.
Good morning.
It's Lagoon Radio.